Here we go again. Dreamcast guy, when are you gonna learn your lesson and go somewhere, man? The gaming community is tired of you, man. Just take one look at your comments section, bro. Like, you still out here representing Sega, and what was the last time you even celebrated their anniversary? Now, guys, I don't know what to tell you, man. We just trying to have a nice, peaceful conversation, but, apparently there's a lot of bad things going on in the gaming community that don't involve PlayStation. How about that? Until Dawn Remake selling 28% worse than Concord did. I know your ponies are upset about that. Let me guess, you're gonna blame Microsoft and say that it was everything to do with Game Pass? Am I right? The PlayStation community is a joke at this point. How are you guys gonna sit there with about 60 million hardware sales and yet people ain't even buying games for it? That's right, Jimmy! Okay, that's enough of that. But like I said, man, we got the Dead Rising music in the back. Hopefully you guys can enjoy the video. And like I said, man, keep dreaming.
Today I want to talk about the video game industry. Because it feels like something extremely bad is happening.
It's been happening. What are you talking about, bro? This has been happening for over 5 years, bro. But instead, you wanted to point the finger at Microsoft. And what's so funny about this, that you're complaining that, AAA gaming is having an issue. No, seems like it's more of an issue for Sony. Nintendo's making money off their games. Microsoft is making money on their games. Weren't you excited for Doom Dark Ages? That is a Microsoft-owned game. You do know that. He's right. How about Diablo 4, Black Ops 6? All the games that are doing well on your PlayStation. But every time we talk about a PS5 exclusive, you guys know, the game that makes you want to pick up the platform for the reason as to why you own one in the first place. And guess what? Nobody wants to buy games for it because the platform sucks. Sorry to break it to you.
Feels like gamers are upset. Feels like every single big AAA project is an abysmal failure.
From Sony. Microsoft is not having that same problem, are they? They're not!
Console sales are down. It just feels like something is very much amiss. But
people don't care about gaming. We try to tell you, or should I say explain to you, that the gaming demographic is 99% casuals. But for some reason, you still have the mindset of a person that lives in the 90s. Like, guys, if we know anything about evolution, we all understand that things change over time. But when you're a PlayStation pony still stuck in the stables, snorting up pony dust, I guess it goes through one nostril and out the other.
Specific reason I wanted to discuss it today is because I keep seeing this question kind of floating across the internet. Why is every video game a failure? Statistically, we can look at the map.
I thought these games was doing well on PlayStation, according to you, Dreamcast guy. Didn't you say that everything's all right on PS5? Probably explains as to why you kept bringing up hardware sales, even though we told you that the attach rates to those games weren't selling as well. But it is what it is, guys. What else can I say? Dreamcast guy's got to make these videos so he can pay his rent. Because clearly there's some hidden motives, or should I say agendas, going on with this man's channel.
Video games are a trillion-dollar industry, not just billion.
Yeah, and the problem is they're not making money on the games that you like to play. They're making money on the Fortnite, the NBA 2Ks, the Apex Legends, the iconic games. Nobody cares about the old games that you used to play back on your little PlayStation 2. That's what we was trying to tell you. But it seems like you just don't have the brain capacity to either, let's say, hear people in the community, or maybe you just like to go based off on your feelings.
Actually generate trillions of dollars across every platform, every ecosystem, every company. But if you look at the actual sales numbers of specific projects, something bad is happening. Consider the fact that just Ubisoft used to make $13 billion a year. They made $13 billion.
Well, it is what it is. I mean, you know what they say. You go woke, you go broke. I mean, guys, listen. you gotta ask yourself, what type of games do you people want? They try everything in their power to try to cater to you, and all you guys do is complain. If it's on Xbox, it's a bad game. If it has a woman character, you don't want to play it. The gaming community is in one big nutshell, and to be honest with you, I don't see anything changing.
In dollars in a single year a couple years back, and now they've made $1 billion. How did they lose over 90% of their market in just such a short time?
Well, that's actually quite easy to understand, Dreamcast guy, but maybe for a person of your mindset, that might be a little complicated. Free to plays, there's a lot of different types of games that people are playing. People are comfortable with the games that they're on. They don't see themselves having the need to go out there and pick up a platform to play some new games because they're already happy playing Fortnite as it is with updates. They don't care. You really think these people care about the games that you people got on your PS5 Pro? Don't make me laugh, okay? Like, you people need to grow up. You see? This is why Alex and the Popsicle Man just let you keep having it. And I understand, guys. I get tired of it too, but it comes to a point where we just want to hit some sense to this fool. I really don't understand that you got all this information in front of your hands and you just choose to avoid it, man. I guess you got a nice t-shirt with a few little Starfield stars on it, whatever that is, polka dots. But, yeah. This is the way it is. And if you don't like gaming, well, then I guess you pack up your bags and go somewhere, because we're all getting tired of it. We seriously are, guys. I am definitely one of the vast majorities that is getting tired of making videos with this man's face in the thumbnail. I don't think I've seen something remotely this repulsive since Fallout 3. And you're not supposed to be a ghoul. I wouldn't call it smooth skin, but let alone you're supposed to be one of us. But instead, you come off very different. You come off like a creature from a different planet. An unrecognizable, unidentified object. And that is a very hard thing to swallow. I understand. But Dreamcast guy, you got to do better than this, okay? Please, for the whole community, we beg you, honestly, to change up your act.
State of video games and why it feels like everybody is so upset and unsatisfied by current gaming in 2024.
Well, that's not necessarily true, because you say that AAA gaming is having a problem, but yet Sparking did pretty well in sales. Matter of fact, it even outdid Black Ops 6 in pre-orders, and that's something we haven't seen in a very long time from a Dragon Ball game. It seems like the only games that are failing are the ones on PlayStation. The one that has the highest hardware attach rate, but yet they can't even get people to buy a game. It's asinine to me. It's so crazy how you people choose to defend this platform day in day, when even your own community don't even care. There's more fanboys on Twitter than the ones that are actually out here picking up your games. It must be a sad reality for the PlayStation community.
And kind of talk about how it can be fixed. Hi. Hope you're having a great day, and if you could, please give this video a like and subscribe. What's so shocking is that, we know for a fact that Concord is the biggest PlayStation failure of all time.
And now we can add another game to that, Until Dawn PS5 Remake. With a game with that many bugs, you couldn't even force a young child to play it. That's crazy. That's not even including all the free review copies they probably gave to everybody. A very sad story for the ponies indeed. But like I said, why would you expect people to pick up a remake of a game they already have and played on their PS4? That's quite dumb, don't you think? And these are the excuses that you guys are using to want people to go pick up the Pro. I'm just going to say no.
It sounds like they lost, literally. I think the rough math is about $250 million.
Oh, well, there you go. We're getting close to that billion mark. We got 2 flops in a row from Sony headquarters. But we still don't hear the fact that is Sony dead or not. I never see a company drop 2 flops in a row. 2 groundbreaking Guinness World Record of failures right between your hands, guys. What else is there really to say? You really thought people was gonna, Sony decided to double dip like a Nintendo, and unfortunately, it slapped them in their own faces.
Lost making Concord, a game that was actually shut off after less than 2 weeks. And so people are saying,
well, I guess they might want to pull these off in shelves too, just like you said about the Xbox and the Middle East. I guess this game should be pulled off shelves, guys. I mean, it's already over. A game doing far worse than Concord. Now, how could you do even worse than that? That's something that you ponies don't want to explain. Go ahead, point the finger at PC, point the finger at Nintendo. But look, we've seen this time and time again. Things are just happening to get worse for PlayStation, and you people don't want to address the real issues in the room.
How is it that Until Dawn sold less than that? Or I think about things like the crazy raw digits are starting to come out for Star Wars Outlaws. It sold 1 million copies. Now that's kind of insane because in the past, brand recognition, I think, used to be a lot more powerful. Obviously,
what do you don't understand? People are getting older. People are growing up, man. The same people that played games 10, 15, or 20 years ago, guess what? They're either not here or they're old men. What do you expect? A grandma to still play Star Wars Outlaws? She did that during her 80s. She doesn't care about doing it in a video game. All she's worried about is somebody feeding her oatmeal and changing the diapers. Okay? That's what people do when they get old. They don't have time to deal with young people things. How do you not understand that?
I was born in the 80s, I grew up in the 90s, and it did feel like we used to get tons of movie tie-in games and all sorts of silly cartoon tie-in games. You could get.
Unfortunately, things are different. It must hurt. What do you want people to do? You want people to resonate with you? You want people to understand how you feel? Gaming was obviously a better place during those time frames, but what do you expect? These people have gotten old. They have lives, they have children, but instead we got people like you that are 40, 50 years old still arguing about console wars. Now you're starting to see the real problem going on in this room, Dreamcast guy. And hopefully you watch this video and you understand that, yeah, maybe it's my fault. Maybe it's my fault for not understanding, or should I say reading the room, because this has been a problem that's been going on for a lot longer than you want to think.
Like an X-Files game where you could play Roger Rabbit's Big... I bring that up not as some cheesy retro...
He's showing us some undeniable proof. Oh, wow, Dream. Holy Toledo. You got a huge collection there, buddy. But there's just one problem, though. Where's the Sega games? I see you have a Dreamcast hat on your head, but it seems like there's more PlayStation games on the wall than there's Sega. Oh, it must be a mistake. I know you wouldn't do something that stupid to ruin your own integrity, would you?
But instead, the fact that if you've played every era of gaming, there has definitely been a very recent pivot that I feel like gamers are kind of having trouble trying to put into words. When you played something like Metal Gear Solid back in the day, or some random weird RPG you picked up the shelf, like Tactics Ogre,
And you have to understand that when gaming was out at that time, it was something that was new. Gaming has been going on for over 30 years, and you really still think people are supposed to be excited even though they haven't evolved anything? Come on, you can't be that much of a simpleton. Gaming hasn't changed that much since the Xbox 360 besides resolution and performance. But yes, you people want to act like people should get excited picking up a new platform even though most of your games are cross-generation. You can play them on the PS4! I know. It's rather ridiculous that these people expect people to get excited for a game like Until Dawn Remake. Why? Why shouldn't they, Jimmy? When they've already played it. Hopefully this man doesn't die with laughter before Sony decides to leave the console business. This is sad. And you want to bring up Metaphor Fantasio, even though it did far better on Xbox. Oh? Because people were playing it through Game Pass Ultimate. Because people don't want to buy games no more. It is what it is.
Playing together. These games were not just fun, They weren't.
And what's even more crazy, that nobody cared about Persona until Persona 5 came out. You still haven't proved no point. Nobody cared about these games, and what's even more funny, the budgets for a lot of these Japanese quote-unquote niche projects are very inexpensive. So if these games only sell 1 million or 2 million or maybe 3, that's a success for these companies. But obviously these games are not pushing any boundaries in regards to how we go about playing video gaming, which also means that nobody will get excited for them, no matter how good the games are.
Just cool with great stories and crazy in-depth worlds, they had this rawness to it. Not every weapon is perfectly balanced, not every voice line is perfectly. This is what video games are missing the most, is that sense of feeling. Now, obviously, 16 is still a good game. 16 is still filled with a lot of very good feeling. FF7 Rebirth is filled with a lot
Well,
of...
guess what? Nobody else was feeling the game besides you ponies. And you know what? And PC gamers are gonna feel that experience too when it's on their platform. What's the need of a PlayStation, right? You know, guys, we're gonna end this on a good note. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. We see that these ponies are hurt, that everything is failing beyond them. I mean, Concord could even... not Concord. Until Dawn Remake could even afford to do better than Concord. It did 28% worse. How can you do worse than a game that already did worse before? But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, man. And like I said, hopefully you guys appreciated the new take. Take care. Game's still with another W. You know what it is.